Well, pleased to be joined by offensive coordinator Tim Lester. And Tim, good to talk to you this week when you've gotten a quarterback back and Eric Dungy back in the lineup. What was it like to have Eric back running the show this past weekend?
It was great. You know, he's getting more and more comfortable. I mean, it's third. I think it was his third game that he's played. So, you know, still rusty. But yeah, you know, you see flashes of we just got to get more consistency out of him. But it was fun to have him back because he's got a lot more experience than anyone else I got, which is 3 games. But he's doing a good job. I thought he did some really good things. We just got to build on it.
I think we saw it certainly this last game, the Wake Forest game. He said slow starts and then sort of picks it up. Is that just, hey, he's a freshman and still figuring things out, or is there something you can do about it?
You know, I can be a little bit more aggressive play calling. He likes the more aggressive I am. It gives him a chance to run around and make some plays, which is when he's kind of in his comfortable mode. You know, early on in the Central game, he came out firing. You know, so it's interesting. You know, with him coming back off the injury, I think it was a little tentative early, more mentally, just making a couple mistakes in his reads and stuff, and then he got hit a couple times, calmed down, and he's really started playing. You know, we just got to get him called down earlier. And once we can get him calm, he can really play.
I guess maybe he's one of those guys that takes a hit and then gets into the game, but you may not want him to take too many hits. How do you balance that? Because it seems to be his natural instinct that he's willing to run around out there and absorb a blow, but you need him standing upright all season.
Yeah, you know, he ran the ball way too many times. I think he had 17 carries, and we sat down on Sunday and went through every single one. And I think there was 8 that he should have been carrying, and the rest he should have thrown away. Ran out of bounds, misread the pitch, you know, where he kept it and should have pitched it, or misread an end. So a lot of different reasons. A lot of them were just passes where he misread the coverage. Everyone's going to throw new coverages at us. He's a rookie quarterback, so he's new in reading coverages. So he had a couple guys he missed open, and you know, his natural ability is to go take off and run. You know, so you can't take that out of him. We just got to continue to teach him to protect himself, never leave his feet, which is something that he did in high school all the time. And you know, he's done it I think twice this year. Once he almost got in the end zone, the other time he got flipped on the sideline. So you know, just continue to coach him. I mean, he's really young in his experience and his evolution as a quarterback, and I just have to continue to coach him and preach. And he's fun to coach because he's hard on himself, and he expects more out of him.
Not the only young guy, obviously, you have on the depth chart. Jordan Frederick's elevated to the top spot on the running back line this week. What's he done to deserve that #1 role right now? Well,
he's the most productive guy we have on offense, according to our production charts. So, you know, he was really comfortable. He got the most carries every single game so far. He just was like the 6th man in basketball. He didn't start the game, but he played more than anybody. And we knew he was comfortable in that role, but he just continues to produce time and time again. So, we're going to give him the starting nod, and you know, maybe a little bit more carries just because he's continued to produce. But the other guys are still going to carry the ball. You know, we're just happy with the way he's playing right now.
What's the balance for you calling the game, because you have so many option type plays versus calling plays where you force the ball into a Jordan Fredericks or Brisley or Steve Ishmael's hands? How do you balance that as the game goes along?
It depends on the score, really. You know, it's one of those things that you know, if the game plan has a good amount of quick throws to Brisley, and if we know what coverage they're playing where we can get the ball in those guys' hands, we try to target them as much as we can. And then now Irv's back. We want to get him the ball as much as we can. So there's only so many plays to go around, unfortunately. And then you want to let 2 drop back and run around a little bit and make some plays. So it's a fun problem to have different players, and even, you know, Strickland every time he seems to touch the ball, and Lewis too. So it's hard. You really got to. The thing I emphasize with the quarterbacks is just making sure they understand is that we're reading coverage. And we're going to go to the weakness of the coverage. And we have enough players that whatever player's in the weakness of the coverage is where we attack. We don't want to throw into the teeth of it, which Eric did twice. And he struggled, and they were both incomplete, luckily. The offensive guy did a good job of batting the ball down. So it is a great problem to have. But we definitely got to make sure, especially with those running backs, that we give them a chance to get downhill.
Last thought, you mentioned Irv, had him back, and it looked like he really hadn't missed a beat out there. How important is he to the offense going forward? Yeah,
a lot. He's very important. I mean, it's a huge part of what we do, the hybrid position. And you know, we didn't target him a ton early. I wasn't sure how he'd react, and every time, you know, he did something good with the ball. So we started going to him more and more as we went. You know, he had looked like that in practice, but you never know, you know, what the guy's going to be like out there full speed again. And I was really happy with the way he came out and played. It's great to have him back.
All right, Tim, good luck this week.
Thank you.